Welcome back to my haunted palace. In this video, I will be reading to you a ribald tale told to me by an itinerant bard in a tavern. It is known as Street Fighter Succabus. Let us begin. Oh, God. I just need to tell this to you. To you. And whoever is behind you, peeking over your shoulder. It happens, you know. What happened? I went to GameStop one day. I saw a copy of what seemed to be Street Fighter 5. Well, this is impossible, I thought, but I grabbed it anyway. I was saucing. I censor myself so I don't look white trash. Excited. When I got home, I looked at the disc. It seemed to be a PS2 disc. I began setting up the PS2 and noticed there was no rating on the game's cover. In fact, it looks like it was made with the Paint program. Here is the cover, and included in my tale book is a cover. I'm sure the best way for me to show you this will be to just put it in the camera's view rather than simply flashing it upon the screen like a normal person. Oh God, get a look at that. Yes, yes. Wonderful. This is a high quality video series. This is high concept. This is high. Anyway, I put the disc in the PS2 and began the game. Oh, I know an old wives' trick. I know an old wives' trick that will really get you. Guess what? You just lost the game. The opening was Akuma staring into the night sky. He seemed sad. The stars began to move, glow, and flicker. Akuma became shocked, then angry. I think he whispered, "Mesatsu," but I'm not sure. He leaped towards the stars, which were now falling towards him. The stars transformed into metal versions of Akuma with blue eyes when he illuminated. They fought Akuma, who killed them one by one in 1, 2, 3 hits. Each time one died, blood would spray out of where they were hit. Blood's not a usual thing in Street Fighter games. I know that. This was the author saying this. I have never played a Street Fighter video game in my fucking life. We do not have Street Fighter in my haunted palace. Akuma turned around to see Ryu and another metal Akuma. This metal Akuma held Ryu captive. Akuma freed Ryu and killed the imposter. Akuma walked away from Ryu, who was confused at this point. Then fog appeared on screen. The title showed. I decided to go to training mode. The playable characters were Ryu, Ken, Dan, Sakura, Guy, Akuma, Hugo, and a new character named Go Saru. Professional video. Ryu had no bandana on his head and had blue gloves rather than red ones. Ken's hair was short and his gi was now dark red. Dan was normal, except he was seemingly depressed. Sakura's outfit was soaked in blood, but it went along with her demented smile. Guy seems to have changed greatly due to him wearing casual clothing. Akuma had no shirt, exposing a scar across his chest. Hugo was normal, but he had poison upon his shoulder. But Go Saru was more noticeable. He had a green gi soaked in blood, similar to Sakura's schoolgirl outfit. He had purple, long hair and gray gloves. I chose to play as Guy. The CPU was a metal Akuma. I had fun brushing up my Street Fighter skills, then went on to arcade mode. Again, I chose Guy. I fought Sakura first. Guy was sitting down, but got up. Sakura was giggling in a creepy way. The stage was Street Fighter Alpha stage for Birdie. Every time Sakura leaped into the air, she would show a smile of malice and let out a scream of malice. I beat her with little difficulty. Guy's victory message was, I'm sure a straight jacket will look good on you. I chuckled at this one. The next fight was Ryu in Ken's stage from Street Fighter 2. Ryu was staring into the sky, then noticed Guy. He then said, I'm ready to fight. He spammed Shoryukens, but I defeated him anyways. Guy's victory message then said, You're not ready. You're only eager. Then I had to fight Dan, who resided in a new desert stage. He was balled up and crying, and when he saw Guy, he said, Leave me be. The fight begun, but Dan Dan was still balled up, continuing to cry. I low-kicked him, and he was now rolling around, screaming in pain. The fight ended. Guy then said, "Let's not torture him. He's depressed enough already." Ken was the next opponent, and we fought in his stage from Street Fighter Alpha 2. Ken was adjusting his belt, then said, with a voice like Goku's Dragon Ball Z character voice, "Let's get this over with." I do not know what Goku sounds like. I do not watch Dragon Ball. Yes, I am sure you all clicked to hear me do a Goku impression, but I have little knowledge of the subject. But I do have knowledge of the subject of your duel. He struck first, but I countered him with a throw. He fell through the floor, which broke, and the fight ended. Guy looked down at the hole, and his victory message displayed. It said, "Oops." The next fight was not on the character screen. It was the boss. So I guess it makes sense. It was a nude version of our Micah called Succabus. A cutscene cued, starting with a shot of the desert, now in night time, with the characters I previously defeated, and other Street Fighter characters trapped in GIMP suits. You know, the imaging editing software GIMP. Yes, it is much like GIMP.com in that it is images edited for your horror. That is Succabus, Street Fighter. I am coming to your house. Guy walked up to these characters, a shocked expression on his face. Then Succabus appeared. "Another sexy victim, I see," she said. "You'll be nice to play with." Guy jumped into his fighting stance. The fight began, and Guy was easily defeated. Succabus then trapped him into a Photoshop suit. She cocked her head to me and said, "Won't you join us?" And said, "Won't you join us, cutie?" I was scared somewhat. The game forced me back to the character select, except the only character there was. Pausing for dramatic effect. Me. I was a chibi version of Guy in a light blue shirt and a dark blue jeans, as well as black sneakers. It even had my name there. Next time, if you are not cautious, it could be your name. I selected myself and saw another cutscene. She was really excited to see me. I knew that she jumped up and down, saying to saying, "I'm going to enjoy and cherish this moment. I know it." My moveset had the special attacks of Guy, except the leap into the air move was not there, as well as the spinning kick. But I did have the Shoryuken. I fought her and nearly did not survive, but I defeated her with a super Shoryuken called Jaden Hiryu no Ken. Succubus fell down. I had no victory message. A cutscene appeared, showing the succubus melting and the other characters being freed. Except Sakura, who was in a straitjacket. And then celebrating, I turned the game off. After entering my initials, I got first place, then sat down. I was reflecting on what happened when I heard Succubus's voice again. She said, "Don't forget your souvenir." A pair of panties flew and landed on my head, then gave me a headache. Long story short, she had me do a favor in order to stop the torture. Epilogue. I was reflecting on what happened when I heard Succubus's voice again. She said, "Don't forget your souvenir." A pair of panties flew and landed on my head, then gave me a headache. Long story short, she had me do a favor in order to stop the torture. And then our intrepid main character had to mow the lawn. Not in any sort of like with a lawn mower. But here is where it gets frightening. The grass screamed when it was cut and bled, much like you will if you were to eat a sword.